Don in London, hello, and it's 10th of June 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and I'm recovering one day at a time. I need to remind myself always about this, that I'm in recovery one day only. My life goes on, the days seem to speed up as I get older. I don't know if that's a common trait, I suspect it is, but with a clear head, or as clear as it can be, without the befuddlement of addiction. My addiction was alcohol, and behaviour, which was self-obsessed and going round and round in circles, trying to be perfect, either at work or doing the gym or being in relationships. You name it, I tried to strive for perfection, and these days I'm striving to learn who I am. And I'm glad about that, because it means I'm human, very human indeed. So what helps me keep sober? Well, family do, community, society, civilization as we know it, as they say on Star Trek. Whatever life is, we don't know what it is, but it's life it's not as we know it. And that's simply me learning a day at a time. I don't know, I think I was ignorant of about my situation for a long, long time. For us to actually understand addiction, we have to actually maybe experience it, because if you're not an addict, why on earth would you want to know? And that's where some of the stigma, if you like, the self-prejudice about addiction is. So first we want never to know that we are an addict, probably, remaining ignorant probably till death, and then thinking, well, I don't know what we think or feel when we're dead, but on the way there's great despair, desolation and disappointment in addiction, and I suffered that quite a lot. And this self-prejudice kept me away from recovery for a long, long time, because I just didn't think I was good enough. I had clinical depression and a whole range of other behavioural problems to do with just trying to stay on the planet, basically. And I cannot remember the number of times I did not want to wake up. Not actively commit suicide, but certainly I didn't want to wake up. So it's the soft option, if you like, for addicted people, not to have to think or feel any more. So to get into recovery is rather a difficult task, and for those who do, it remains a day at a time exercise. And the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, helps me daily connect with people who understand what it's like to stay in recovery, because we share our experience, strength and hope. And I go to AA meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous meetings here in London, and there are 720 a week apparently. So, as I used to drink most days, most days I go to AA, and for an hour or an hour and a half I get to hear what other people are doing with their lives, and I can share as well what I'm doing with my life. I don't share about these videos because they're nothing to do with AA, and AA is full of unique, authentic people, so I cannot speak for them, nor would I want to, and I don't speak for AA either. I just talk about how it helps me on a daily basis. But the preamble, which is shared at every meeting I go to at the beginning, helps the new person and the oldest person in sobriety there in the room, because we need to be brought into the same place of understanding in the here and now. Sometimes called the spiritual connection is reality, without filters or denials. So what does AA say about itself in the preamble? It says this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And the reason I say that every time on my videos is so when people take them out of sequence, they know where I'm coming from. I'm talking about my experience, strength and hope, which is based on fellowship life, if you like, and having a life outside fellowship. So if 1 hour in 24 is devoted to keeping in recovery, and then the other 23, well, I'm lucky, because I don't drink a day at a time, and that's the gift. It's the gift of life. And for me, lots of things are happening, and connections to old friends because of YouTube and Facebook, which is quite startling, and also disconnection sometimes, because it's just the way life is. So sometimes life is going all right, and sometimes it's not, and sometimes we upset people unintentionally. And I guess for many years I was doing that by my drinking behaviour. First I was upset because life just didn't seem worth living, and then the rest of the world, whoever knew me, would see the perfect person who kept everybody out from the real me inside. And the real me inside was a very small boy who didn't really understand life too well, and had never grown up, and feared a lot of things, always wondering what would be round the next corner, and always feeling like I needed to look over my shoulder for the people with the knives to stab me in the back. I don't know if it was quite that paranoid all the time. There were some good times in there too, otherwise I wouldn't have done it, would I? So in the fellowship we have literature like this, daily reflections, and I'll try and cover what it says in these. AA has a 12-step program, and in the daily reflections it covers one step per month, and the 12 steps are about adopting a new attitude to life and new behaviour. So getting rid of the old attitude of poor old me, less than, don't want to live, more of a bit of courage, faith and confidence that life can work out and it can be interesting and I can be connected. That's what the 12 steps help me do. And when it's an action program, we don't follow it dogmatically to some other person's tune, if you like, or their way of looking at the world. We find our own outlook and how the 12 steps help us authentically and uniquely to be ourselves. So it says here June 10th, this is the 6th month, and the 6th step is all about sorting out where we need to develop better attitudes and behaviour which we can utilise, and not relying on self-will, self-obsession. So it says here, impatient, try levitating. We reacted more strongly to frustrations than normal people. Impatience with other people is one of my principal failings. Following a slow car in a no-passing lane, or waiting in a restaurant for a cheque, drives me to distraction. Before I give God a chance, or good conscience, or the world, to slow me down, I explode, and that's what I call being quicker than God. That repeated experience gave me an idea. I thought if I could look down on these events from God's point of view, it's like a helicopter view, I might better control my feelings and behaviour, because that means I'm right size, because everybody's wanting to get their cheque and pass and all the rest of it. I tried it, and when I encountered the next slow driver, I levitated and looked down on the other car and upon myself. I saw an elderly couple driving along, happily chatting about their grandchildren. They were followed by me, bug-eyed and red of face, who had no time schedule to meet anyway. I looked so silly that I dropped back into reality and slowed down. Seeing things from God's angle of vision can be very relaxing. Or from my bicycle on the King's Road, when a motorist drives right up to the very edge where the lights are red, so that the pedestrians cannot pass. And somebody knocked on their window yesterday and said, "Why don't you move back?" And the driver looked as if they were horrified. How dare they? And this lady had a pram with a child in it, and very sensibly she went back to the edge and onto the sidewalk or pavement and let it go. But the driver in the car zoomed off as fast as they could, as the lights were just going to amber. You know what? People really are very impatient when there's nothing to rush at except another bloody car queue. And one of my favourite pictures which I took in the King's Road is this one. And you know, it sums up a lot. A fairly ancient couple, a man just walking behind his wife, I suspect, because they look very similar in their outfits. And the reason why it's one of my favourite pictures is it says to me, the lady's saying, "Come on, you old goat, get on with it." And you know, I think a lot of people are told about life, pull yourself up, put on a brave face and get on with it, and don't be such a wimp around things to do with addiction. But because if you don't know what addiction is, and you don't understand it as a disease and an ailment which is trying to kill us, and self-prejudice runs riot, you know, we put ourselves down. And I've heard it said in many occasions that I would never go out with somebody in the fellowship because they're mad. Well, at least sanity is restored on a daily basis if we're lucky. And you know, for me today, I'm just gently trying to understand how life works. And that try-levitating bit, which is looking at the whole situation, not just mine. It's suggested it's God's view, but in fact it's a good conscience view. So when I say the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, I guess it's really wisdom in the moment and knowing the difference.